What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze because we understand oppression has to be set ablaze. It's daring us at this point. We don't have no fucking choices but to burn the shit down, gang. Shit is getting realer by the minute, apparently, in America, and I think it is underscoring the urgency of which drastic, dramatic, revolutionary action needs to be taken. Thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate you guys. While we, kind of people time it up. That happens sometimes. But Tunde is off tonight, so I want to thank and welcome Dwayne, who is switching the show, being our production manager. So thank you so much, Dwayne. It was the fault of some man. Y'all know how I do. White people and men. It's all the problems. But thank you, Dwayne. We appreciate you rejoining us here on Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Dwayne, we used to switch us originally when we were on, so I can't remember where we was, but the first place we was there, and Dwayne was there with us. So we thank and welcome Dwayne back, because he's always been part of the Fire Fam. Yes, indeed. So thank you all so much. Let me check in. I see we got everybody in here. Latifah's in here. Anna Hart. Anna, girl, on the disability chat for June, I wants to hear all the things about the Lime rally and the MAGA jerks that you had to deal with. I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry you had to encounter some crackers. Tay is in here. Who else is in here? Is Imani in here? Who else did I see up in this joint? Everybody. I'm excited to see everybody. Louis Kang is in the spot. Lucretia is here. Hello, sweetheart. My sweetie Elena Shades. Dwayne, there's Dwayne ass all in the chat too. There's Wendy, Ready Revolutionary. Thank you guys so much, y'all. Okay, so I had a show, and I still have a show all laid out for us to talk about. One of the things I wanted to mention, I wanted to chat about Elon Musk. Now, y'all know I don't really give a fuck about Elon Musk, but anytime a billionaire, especially a white male billionaire, especially born with a silver spoon in their mouth, born on third, swear they hit a triple ass white male billionaire. When them niggas have bad days, I like to point them shits out. And Elon Musk has been having, I guess from a billionaire's perspective, he's been having a tough couple of weeks. And I think it's worthy of us to point, to laugh, to ridicule. Elon can buy all of our lives many billions of times over. But he cannot stop from being a bitch ass nigga. And we deserve to laugh at that. And laugh we shall. But the problem is, when the capitalists find their capital and even their power or their influence, and when they find it threatened, they tend to squad up real quick with the fascists. And that's what Elon's going to do. That's why Elon, as much as a fucking monkeypox ass, clown ass motherfucker that he is, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. So we're going to kiki a little bit of Elon, but we're going to talk about why Elon is dangerous as fuck out here. There's a couple of union stories that I wanted to get into. The gamers have formed their first union, which I think is extremely exciting. And there's been some update on the SEIU LA County strike that was authorized. SEIU has announced that they have come to an agreement with the LA County Board of Supervisors, but a lot of folks are encouraging the SEIU members to vote no on this contract. We're going to get into that. But y'all, the first thing obviously we have to get into is that it's another day in America, and another school has been shot up. It's very, very sad. In Uvalde, Texas, outside of San Antonio, according to the latest reports that we have heard, 14 elementary school aged children have been murdered by a single alleged shooter who has been named by Texas Governor Greg Abbott as Salvatore Ramos, 18 years old, of Uvalde, Texas. Obviously, this just happened today, and the details are still coming in. There has been no motive released. I know that I'm sure police and the media are scouring through this person's social media profiles to see whether or not there were any indications. But it's just another reminder. We're just coming off the heels of a mass shooting in Buffalo last week. Guys, 10 people murdered in Buffalo in a racially motivated shooting. Again, we don't know the motivation for this, but when someone walks into an elementary school and murders 14 second, third, and fourth graders, really their motivation is not the point at this point. It doesn't really matter why they did it. It's done. And I'm seeing the same reactionary spiels from elected officials, from former law enforcement who now serve as media experts. And a couple of things stood out. I was watching ABC News broadcast live earlier, and they spoke with someone who worked formerly at the Department of Homeland Security. And there was a woman, I don't recall her name, but what she said was, she said that this is bigger than a law enforcement problem. She says that trying to identify people who are at risk of committing mass shootings is something that the police are simply not able to do. It's going to take a serious systemic-wide formation of apparatuses and services that people can reach out to, snitch on, make sure that those who might become violent, and those, especially those who might become violent who don't have any previous so-called red flags in their background, which a lot of these mass shooters are. The reason why this is going to take a creation of some sort of establishment, identification, mental health, social services, apparatus that literally does not exist now, is because it's easier to do that. It's easier to provide mental health assistance or snitching assistance to those who might commit acts of violence. It's easier to do that than it is to get 400 million guns off the street. What the other reactionary shit I saw on TV was from standard liberal Democrats talking about this was a congressional failure. We need stricter gun laws. We don't need stricter gun laws. And I'm going to tell you why we don't need stricter gun laws. Because if you look at the overwhelming majority of these mass shootings, the guns were purchased legally. Nothing about these gun purchases would have raised any suspicions, it would not have triggered anything on the side of law enforcement, okay? A lot of these mass shootings with these guns were purchased legally, and they would have caused no alarm by these purchases. So clearly more gun laws are not the problem, because the people who are using guns in mass shootings are using legally purchased weapons, okay? You cannot legislate this away. What you can do is pretend as though this is the wealthiest fucking country in the world. You can pretend as though we do have enough mental health professionals, and some would argue that we don't. I say we do. But we're putting our resources in the wrong place. So there is no continued justification for authorizing billions upon billions upon billions of dollars in law enforcement resources if they can't stop this shit. If they can't stop 14 children at this elementary school, at Robb Elementary School, this is only second, third, and fourth graders, 14 babies murdered. If law enforcement can't stop that, then what's the fucking point of law enforcement? There needs to be a parallel system that reaches people, or that those who are in the person's orbit of whom they think may turn violent. There has to be another venue. There has to be another solution. But please don't let these liberals convince you or your circles that more gun laws is the answer, okay? I live in Maryland. Check out the gun violence statistics in Baltimore right now. Gun laws are strict as fuck in Maryland. I assure you, gun laws do not work. I want to send our condolences, our heartfelt sorrows going out to those families tonight, gang. I know we have parents that are with us right now, parents of young children. We are impasse over here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown. It is not hard for us to put our feet in the shoes of those folks tonight who are suffering mightily. And not just the 14 children who died, a teacher was also murdered. NBC News is reporting that the alleged shooter, Salvatore Ramos, allegedly murdered his grandmother before coming to Robb Elementary School to commit these alleged acts of just unspeakable violence, you guys. I mean, we are a very sick nation, okay? We are a sick nation that refuses to go to the fucking doctor. America doesn't believe that it is sick, but all you have to do is look no further than our children. Look no further than our children. Look no further than the state of our kids. In addition to the mass shooting that happened in Uvalde, Texas today, right down the street from me in Alexandria, Virginia, at a shopping plaza nearby Alexandria City School High School during the lunch hour where kids like to go off campus for their lunch breaks, a student was stabbed to death. To death! An 18-year-old was stabbed to death today. Okay, these are not just one-off incidents. Our children are in crisis because our nation is depraved. Our nation is depraved and refuses to acknowledge its depravity. We are supposed to accept this status quo of endless violence and told to carry on, right? Just carry on. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Something has to be fucking done. And Joe Biden has to come up with a way better solution than sending literally tens of billions of more dollars to police, because clearly the police don't keep us safe. Police did not keep those 14 kids, little kids today safe. They didn't keep the people at the top supermarket in Buffalo, New York safe. They do not keep us safe. The evidence is all around us. So in addition to feeling sorrow, like I know you all are feeling, we are again feeling this fury at this helplessness, this ineptitude, this incompetence, this fucking lip dick leadership that passes for American politics in this country. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And the problem is, guns are not the problem. Accessibility to guns is the problem, for sure. But at this point, that horse has left the barn, baby. It is easier to create a universal healthcare system and give every single person living here access to that system. It's far simpler to do that than it is to try to go around the country and collect 400 million guns. You don't have enough time left on this planet to try to collect 400 million guns. It's literally not feasible. It is impossible. But what is possible, as other comparably governing and comparable economies to ours in the world, it is possible to provide all of your residents with health care and access to mental health services. So fuck this fucking country. This fucking country is so goddamn stupid, and America just continues to cannibalize its children. Never forget that. America eats its young. It eats its young. And our young people are telling us this right here, right now. Where I wanted to go before we start dunking on funky last little Elon Musk, I did want to share a tiny bit of news, of good news. Can I share some good news? Some good unionizing news. Let's go to A1 there, Dwayne. As we know, we have been keeping track of the ongoing progress of the Starbucks Workers Union. At the beginning of the year, they had 0 stores organized. Now they have dozens of stores organized, which is a huge accomplishment. Got the Starbucks CEO, Mr. Schultz shitting his pants. Mr. Schultz all shook up. Mr. Schultz is so pissed off at these union organizers. He don't know what to do with himself. He won't be able to get the 3 Maybachs he promised his wife this year. She can only get 1 Maybach. Now he big mad, huge mad. A1, everybody, take a look at this. This is from Workers United in the Mid-Atlantic, which represents a variety of different workers. But they announced on their Twitter page just in The Georgia Avenue Starbucks partners in Albany, Maryland voted 9-4 today to unionize. That's the third store in Maryland to go union. Congrats to the mighty partners on their victory. Now, of course, y'all know I'm in Maryland, so I want to big up to the store in Albany, to the other 2 stores in Maryland under Starbucks that have also unionized, and to the dozens of others. What's the number? Are we up to 60? I think we're over 60 now. It's a big number. It keeps growing so fast. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep track of it, but these Starbucks workers unions are rolling. So I wanted to send congratulations going out to them. If we could pop up A2 there, Brother Dwayne. This was some interesting news coming from the gamers. Workers in Middleton based, I believe this is Wisconsin. We got a mansion somewhere in Wisconsin. Workers at the Middletown-based Raven Software form one of the first video game workers unions. The company is a Call of Duty contributor. This is interesting. I am very encouraged to hear about this because for what I understand, I always thought gamers were well-paid, well-compensated folks. But apparently, these workers indicate that the need for a union is there, and they have done so. And this is just indicative, truly, of how much the union spirit is affecting, I won't say infecting, it's affecting American workers. People understand that their working conditions are not up to snuff. Not up to snuff. I'm sure that the gamers, the game creators in Korea get treated a lot better. I'm sure they do. And I'm sure these workers know that. Let me read this real quick. Quality assurance workers at Raven Software, a Middleton-based video game company, voted to form a union on Monday despite opposition from parent company Activision Blizzard. The Game Workers Alliance becomes the first video game workers union in Wisconsin, and one of the first in the country. Of the eligible 28 votes, 19 voted in favor of forming the union, 3 voted against. Quote, 5 months ago, we formed the Game Workers Alliance CWA, the Communication Workers of America, on the principles of solidarity, sustainability, transparency, equity, and diversity. Activision Blizzard worked tirelessly to undermine our efforts to establish our union, but we persevered, those favoring the union said. Our biggest hope is that our union serves as an inspiration for the growing movement of workers organizing at video game studios to create better games and build workplaces that reflect our values and empower all of us. So we want to send our congratulations to the game workers. Come through, game workers. Come through, game workers. You guys should follow them on Twitter. They have a Twitter handle at WeAreGWA, WEAREGWA. Especially if you one of them nerdy gaming ass niggas, I'd be curious as to what y'all's take, what your take on that is. And that's not a diss to the nerdy gaming ass niggas. You know, nerd is a compliment these days. So we want to send congratulations going out to them. But another union story that I want us to take a quick peek at, that's going to be A3, my good bruv Dwayne. So who was it? Infinite Content? Was that you? Infinite Content during one of our live broadcasts left a comment in the chat to let me know that the 65,000 members of SEIU Local 721, which represents the public sector workers in Los Angeles County, earlier this month, I think by a very high margin, I think like 98% of their members voted to authorize a strike, right? And trust me, LA County would be effed in the A if all these motherfuckers went on strike. Los Angeles County is not ready for that. Okay, but SEIU leaders announced, first of all, they had been in negotiations with the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. And they came back a few days ago and announced that they had a victory. They had achieved a victory. They had achieved a victory. But I've read some pieces like this piece here on leftvoice.org, and there was another one on WSWS.com. Indicating that no, perhaps that these members of SEIU 721 should vote against this contract. Now, what the union leaders are saying, first of all, they're touting this as a big fucking deal, saying that workers would get a big one-time raise in compensation of 5.5%, coupled with a singular one-time payment, I believe, of just under $1,400. Maybe it's like $1,375. And then that would be followed by 2 more 3.25% pay raises coming in over the next few years. Okay? The reason why folks are encouraging members to actually vote against this contract is because, 5.5%, it sounds real cute. It sounds real cute, right? Don't we always on Black Power Media on the Remix Morning Show, Jared Ball always talk about his 4% COLA, right? We talk about COLA. 5.5%, baby, that math ain't mathing. When you put that next to the actual cost of living increases that have happened, inflation is at 8.5% and steadily growing. Okay, we have not reached the cap of the inflation as it would appear. Check the price of gasoline, check the price of food. All the indications say that all of our consumer prices are probably going to continue to go up, right? So that 5.5%, that shit might have sounded cute in 2019, but this is 2022, baby. It's a whole new ball game. Whole new ball game. Game has changed. That calculus has changed. So unless the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors are coming with a proposed salary increase percentage-wise, it's got to be 9 or 10% for the shit to even make sense, right? For the shit to even make sense. So I think I'm going to agree with the people at Left Voice. I'm going to, if we have any SEIU 721 members watching, I would vote against that contract, guys. I'd vote against that because it's not good enough. It's not going to be enough. You're still going to be coming up short in the pay department. And we already know Los Angeles County, without a doubt, is one of the most expensive areas in the country to live in. A one-time bonus of $1,375. Nigga, that's not even rent. That's not even 1 month's rent. In a lot of places in Los Angeles County, that's not going to even get you 1 month's rent. So what you going to do with that $1,300 besides pay off debt, besides go buy food, besides catch up on your light bill that you may be behind in? LA County has literally billions of dollars to give to Alex Villanueva and the Los Angeles Sheriff's deputies. Fuck what you heard. You better pay you better pay these public sector workers, real workers, not the cops. The cops don't work. All the cops do is sit in their cars, play on their phones, and occasionally shoot people. That's it. That's all the fuck they do. And they get paid buku bucks for that. You better run these people who run LA County for real. You better pay them, run them all their money. 9%. Fuck that. 10% salary increase. Nothing less than that. Anything less than that is suckers chump change. So SEIU 721, that was a good start. That was a real cute start. Now go in there and get the rest of them people their money. Go get the rest of your members a penny that they deserve, because most importantly, they need it. They deserve it for sure, but they literally need it in order to survive right now. And truthfully, Los Angeles County needs these public sector workers to be happy. Need them to be happy. Fuck the police being happy. Make sure that the rest of the public sector workers are happy. Okay, that's our good news. That's our good news segment for today. Real quick, guys, as we take a quick break, do me a favor. Please hit like on the channel. On the video, yes, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed to the channel. I want to thank Sabby Sabs for having me on her monthly women's empowerment panel, along with all the fly ladies around the web. Yes, and I have to say, Latif, I saw you in there. I saw a few folks in there. I'm gonna keep it buck. It was not my greatest performance. It was not my greatest offering. It was not my greatest offering. I don't know what was my problem on Sunday. I just I don't know, I was a little bit detached, but I always enjoy building with Sabi, Josana, Courtney, Zainab, and everybody else who comes through and participates in those programs. Thank you so much to Revolutionary Blackout Network. We love you guys. I love the cross-platform building that we're doing here with Black women very specifically and women of color. So thank you guys for that. Couple of housekeeping announcements. I don't know if she's in here. Let me check the chats. But guys, today is a very special day for one of our Fire Fam members. It's Ursula's birthday. It's Ursula's birthday. Gemini Caesar, stand up. So happy birthday to Ursula Baptiste, who is a very loyal member of the Fire Fam. Ursula, thank you so much also, darling, for your Cash App supports from last week. We appreciate that also. So Ursula, I know you probably sleep. You should be asleep over there in the UK because it's late as shit. But when y'all see Ursula in these YouTube streets, please be sure to wish Ursula a very happy birthday. And I want to send a very happy birthday, special happy birthday to one of my very, very, very good friends, Ryan. Today is Ryan's birthday as well. So shout out to all the Geminis. It's Gemini season. Oh my God, everybody else go hide. It's Gemini season. You got to stay in the house, go hide. Because Geminis will wow the fuck out here. So yeah, we appreciate that. Also, thank you so much to Jody. Jody, thank you so much for your Cash App support. We appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And listen, if you want to support the channel, it's really easy to do so. We love the free support. I am a free support bitch. You guys can just like the fucking channel by subscribing to the shit. Like the video. Go back and like some old videos. That would be dope. Follow us places around the internet at BIDWKB. That is us on Twitch. What's up, Northern Witch? That's us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Yes, BIDWKB. Follow us. And if you want to run us a couple of dollars, we will take that as well. $ BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, or you could always kick us some super chats right here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. So, Elon Musk, I have to say, is a nigga that I generally don't pay attention to. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't like racists. It's really that easy. It's really that simple. Okay? And a motherfucker who is white, South African, and who is the heir of a South African emerald mine, nigga, please. Them 3 reasons to dismiss Elon Musk from motherfuckers that I pay attention to. And me and Elon ain't got shit in common, I assure you. But here's the thing about Elon. Elon's very arrogant. Elon also not as smart as he would appear because he is the CEO of Tesla and of SpaceX. Some people are very mistakenly under the impression that Elon had anything to do with developing any of that technology. The fuck he did. Tesla was a company, what, a decade before Elon purchased it? SpaceX, a similar story. Elon is smart. Elon happened to be born white and wealthy, which in this world, especially in our capitalist-based system, people seem to equate that with brilliance and innovation. And this person is a transcendent thinker. No, he's not. He's not. But Elon's been having some rough weeks, couple weeks. When it was announced several weeks ago that Elon intended to purchase Twitter for what she seems to have a love-hate relationship for, right? Twitter to Elon, from my perspective, and I'm sorry, this may sound, I don't even care if this sounds fucked up. Twitter is Elon's favorite escort that won't marry him, right? Like, Elon got all the money, right? Got all the money. He got all the money to trick off. And he really liked this one, loved this one, right? This one won't marry his ass. And he is confused because he's like, everybody else bend over and bust it wide open when I drop these bucks. How come Twitter ain't Twitter's not excited to take this flaccid penis from me. Because Twitter, I suppose as a company, I don't know about Jack Dorsey. He seemed to be like a junior Klansman as well. But from what I can ascertain from the shit that's being leaked on the internet, the Twitter employees are less than thrilled with Elon becoming their new boss. Rightfully so, because Elon, even though he purports to be this free speech advocate, this free speech avenger, right? Twitter needs to do more, let free speech. The speech that he wants to continue to platform is white supremacist speech. Now, he may not come out and say that straight up, but those are the people that he has affection for. Those are the people that he has sympathy for. He admitted that if he were to become owner of Twitter, he would allow Donald Trump to have his Twitter account back. Yeah, so there's that. So I want us to just take a cursory look at Elon, because y'all know I ain't no goddamn tech reporter. This ain't no economics channel over here. We not finna break down the stock valuation of Tesla and whether or not, nah. That's not what we do, kids. That's not what we do. What we do here is take the information that we are able to grasp, right? And we're gonna find the funny in it. So watch this. Hold on. What we gonna do? Okay, let's start off easy. Elon has made some announcements in recent weeks. We're gonna be queuing up B1 there, brother Dwayne. And I didn't know Elon was a Democrat, nor did I give a fuck what his political affiliation is, because again, rich bitch, what his politics are in terms of party affiliation is really inconsequential, because Elon is a union busting, racist, misogynist, entitled piece of shit, and that's enough of his politics that I need to know, because that's plenty. That'll tell you all you need to know. Democrat, Republican, that shit don't matter. Union busting, elite billionaire, oh yeah, you know what kind of time he's on. So he made this announcement several days ago that he is going to vote for Republicans because Democrats have pissed him off. And I want you guys to try not to choke on your blunts too hard when Elon runs down all of these thin reasons as to why he has just had it with Democrats. He's had it with Democrats. Let's take a look.
And I would classify myself as a moderate, and neither Republican nor Democrat. And in fact, I have voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically. Overwhelmingly, like I'm not sure. I might never have voted for a Republican, just to be clear.
Right.
Now this election, I will. The Democratic Party is overly controlled by the unions and by the trial lawyers, particularly the class action lawyers. And generally, if you'll see something that is not in the interest of the people, on the Democrat side, it's going to come because of the unions, which is just another form of monopoly, and the trial lawyers. That's where actions will be happening from the Democrat side that are not in the interest of the people. And then, to be fair, on the Republican side, there's if you say like where there's something like not ideal happening, it's because of corporate evil and religious zealotry. That's generally where the bad things will be coming from on the Republican side, that are not representative of the people. So. In the case of Biden, he is simply too much captured by the unions, which was not the case with Obama. So in the case of Obama, you could have, he was sort of quite reasonable, and I think he took more of a view that, obviously you need to take the concerns of the unions into account, but there are bigger issues at stake, and unfortunately Biden does not do that.
Obama was happy to be my bitch. Obama knew his place. When I called and said, Barry, get these motherfuckers. Barry said, anything you need, Elon, I got you. That's what I took away from that. Barry was my bitch. Biden is not being enough of my bitch. Biden, though, Elon knows this too. Biden is more than happy to be Elon's bitch. Elon is upset when he says that Biden is controlled by the unions. Yes, that must be why wages and benefits have been rocking out for the past decade plus. That must be why everybody's wages is doing so great, because the Democrats are controlled by the unions. The unions are a monopoly. Let Elon tell it, right? Elon clearly is pissed off that Biden even took meeting with Chris Smalls, right? I know we're talking different companies, but trust me, them billionaires, the rumor is Elon and Jeff Bezos don't like each other. Bullshit. Bullshit. They both want to be Lex Luthoring it all the way to Mars and to the moon together. You know what I'm saying? So they are definitely on the same team here. Make no mistake about it. And so for Elon to even acknowledge in that way, roundabout way, that Biden perhaps may be influenced by the union, I have yet to see the evidence of that. I have yet to see the evidence of that. Biden simply meeting with union leaders is not evidence that he is being controlled by union leaders. And when we look at the policies coming out of his administration, it is very obvious that the Biden administration is not being controlled by unions or class action lawyers. That's just some billionaire boy bitch shit to just be crying about. Just crying because he can't get his way all the time. Everybody does not bend to Elon's will at all times. Wah, wah, wah. I'm so persecuted. But as we see the kind of moves that the Republicans are making these days, stripping away of abortion bills, don't say gay, making trans, even being trans illegal, voting rights, that recent Supreme Court decision we talked about this morning on the Remix Morning Show, where basically the Sixth Amendment, where you were entitled to an attorney, all that shit's going out the window. And Elon says, yep, these sound like my people. These sound like exactly who I'm about to click up with. And if you look historically, gang, especially throughout 20th century, anytime, and anywhere, anytime the capitalists felt threatened, if they honestly felt as though the workers were organizing too much, making too many demands, achieving too many victories, if it seemed as though the populace was turning on the rich, what did the rich do? No, the rich don't try to empower the people, as Elon said, that he is for the people. How? In what way are you for the people? He didn't bother to explain that because he don't have no real explanation, because he engages in union busting and trying to make working conditions so unsafe for Tesla workers that there are a lot of accidents at these Tesla plants. We're going to get into that in just a moment as well. But what these capitalists do historically, when they feel their power threatened or their wealth threatened, they will link up with the fascists, okay? And I know we have said here lots of times, an argument can be made that there is no Republican or Democrats, but we are dealing with a fascist whole here. Both sides of the neck fascist. I was trying to figure out how I can do, I talk about out of both sides of your neck. Yeah, the fascism, Democrat, Republican, they talking out both sides of their fascist neck. And Elon said, you know what, let me link up with the more obvious, robust fascists. Democrats are the fascists, yes, but Republicans are proud to be fascists. The other thing I wanted to look at really quick, speaking of union busting, and for Elon to demean the unions and call the union, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp in y'all's ear, my bad. I'm rude, I'm sorry. For Elon to discredit the unions and try to undermine the unions and say that unions are operating as a monopoly. They aren't. Part of the reason why Elon has such animus towards unions is because he is a union buster. He has attempted to bust the union at Tesla for a number of years. And in addition to that, the working conditions at Tesla are reported to be flamingly racist. Big time racist. Not little time racist, big time racist. What? A white guy from South Africa came to America to be racist? You don't say. You don't say. I don't even believe that. He's African American. Let some dumb motherfuckers tell you. Let's take a look. This is going to be, I guess that's going to be A2 there. Brother Dwayne. Musk is a notorious union buster. This clip came from More Perfect Union. Shout out to More Perfect Union. They do outstanding reporting. But Tesla's been hit with a class action lawsuit from Black and brown workers claiming a hostile work environment. 1,000 Black workers say that the rampant racism at Tesla is just unbelievable levels of racism. And I want you guys, we're going to look at a couple of minutes of this clip from A More Perfect Union, and I encourage you guys to go to More Perfect Union's Twitter page and watch the video in its entirety, because it is rather revealing. But I want us to take a snippet. I believe whom we're going to hear from is let's look. Thank you so much, Devane. Richard Ortiz is a ex-worker at Tesla who was fired for his organizing activities, which is also against the law. You're not supposed to fire people who are trying to form a union. That's against the law. But we know the laws don't apply to people like Elon Musk, and he very much behaves that way. And nobody is there to rein him in. But his workers are going to check his ass, though. Let's take a look at this clip from More Perfect Union.
My name is Richard Ortiz. I'm an auto worker through and through, and that's what I care about. But when I was at NUMMI, doing the same job I was doing there, technically a auto worker, building a car on the line, we were making a lot more money, between 30 and 35 an hour. And at Tesla, we were getting $20 an hour on second shift. That's with the premium. The hours we had to work were just 12 hours every day. No questions asked, 12 hours, 6 days a week. I've seen guys that were so afraid of missing that they were throwing up in buckets because they were sick, but they didn't want to lose their job. With Tesla, you weren't sure if you were going to be there next month. But when the turnover so fast, you couldn't plan in nothing. They're using them up and spitting them out. My biggest concern for safety was they would have us sometimes doing two jobs. I'm over here on Sanders, I'm over here on something else, and we're running back and forth between two of them. That's a two-man job. But the main injuries are the ones that you don't hear about, but they're compiling on everybody over and over and over. How they respond to safety issues, they didn't really. You would bring it up, they'd look concerned, they'd take a note, and that'd be the end of it.
There are charges of unreported injuries, excessive hours, abusive conditions. Several investigations by the press and by regulators in California about injuries on the job, breathing toxic fumes, stress injuries, over 100 ambulance calls.
I don't think that's correct.
We're there to make him famous. It's for him. It's all about him. What are we? Disposable. And we're really not. We're not disposable. We're human beings. We matter.
Richard Ortiz, former worker at Tesla, part of a class action lawsuit suing the company for retaliation. Actually, I'm not. The class action lawsuit has to do with racial discrimination. I hope Mr. Ortiz is able himself to file a separate lawsuit of retaliation for being fired for trying to organize his co-workers. Did you guys hear? Did y'all hear the conditions in which the employees are being subjected to? Elon Musk is one of the most wealthiest men in the world. And you see this pattern, right? Musk, Bezos, what's the other terrible niggas? The niggas at Walmart, terrible, right? Billions, wealthy beyond recognition, right? You and I couldn't even conceptualize some of this wealth. And yet their workers are vomiting because their nerves are so bad from anxiety, because they need to take off of work and they're afraid to ask, because these companies and these assholes like Elon Musk, and please be assured that this kind of behavior, this corporate culture, it begins at the top, right? The mid-level managers don't behave that way because because their VPs are nice, are treating them well. No, the shit rolls downhill, and the head asshole in charge is Elon Musk. And you can see how the auto workers at the bottom of this work chain, you could see why they're treated this way, right? Because Elon Musk is trying to maximize his profits at all costs, regardless of worker safety, regardless of home life balance. That Elon Musk don't give a shit about any of that. But I will tell you one thing, guys. While looking up some stories surrounding this, I did come across a story of a brother whom I can only describe hit the lotto. Okay, my guy got a job at Tesla, got treated like shit, and it turned out to be the motherfucking Powerball ticket, guys. And this did not happen that long ago. This happened only 7 months ago out in the Bay Area. So I would like for us to watch this and root for this brother and laugh that Elon had to write my guy a ginormous fucking check. And I hope if any of y'all out in the Fire Fam chat, if y'all have an update on this, please let me know. Because when I saw this, I actually stood up and applauded. I had to put my laptop aside and I stood up and I started to clap because I was so validated and happy for this bruv. But my bruv had to endure some bullshit. It's going to be B3 there, brother Dwayne. This story came from ABC 7 News in the Bay Area. And again, this is 7 months ago, so this had to have been late 2021. And the headline is Tesla to pay black ex-worker $137 million. $137 million. Why? Because for racist abuse in California at the California plant. Powerball ticket, kids. Powerball ticket. Let's check out that clip, Dwayne, from ABC 7 News in the Bay Area.
We just want to be just treated and seen as equal human beings.
This morning, a former Tesla contract worker speaking out after a San Francisco federal court decided the electric car maker must pay him $137 million over claims he suffered racist abuse at the company. Owen Diaz, who was hired through a staffing agency in 2015 as an elevator operator at Tesla's factory in Fremont, told the court he faced a hostile work environment where employees drew swastikas and racist graffiti on bathroom stalls, where coworkers told him to go back to Africa, and ethnic slurs were heard routinely. Diaz says nothing was done to stop it, quitting after roughly 1 year on the job and ultimately suing.
They decided not to follow through. They decided to kill investigations. You know, you can't keep treating workers like this.
Now, Tesla, whose founder and CEO is Elon Musk, ordered to pay Diaz $130 million in punitive damages and $7 million in emotional distress, an unprecedented amount for racial discrimination cases.
A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They have to choose to take the abuse that these billion-dollar companies are putting out or feed their families.
In an internal email to employees Monday following the verdict posted on the company's website, Tesla's VP of People writing, although the facts they have of the case don't justify the verdict reached by the jury in San Francisco, we do recognize that in 2015 and 2016, we were not perfect. We're still not perfect, but we have come a long way from 5 years ago.
What does "we were not perfect" mean? We used to tell them to go back to Africa, but now we just tell them to go back to Compton. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean? We were not perfect. We were racist as shit. We're still not perfect. We're still racist as shit, but we not as racist as we was 5 or 6 years ago. Yo, nigga, please. But hold on. I need some flame emojis, kids. I need to see some flame emojis for my mans. My man secured the bag. My people. I've been in some EEOC shit before. I assure you, nobody even thought to offer me anything close to $137 million. At first, I had to I'm like, wait a second. One dude, what? Because usually big numbers like that, it's a class action thing and everybody get a cut. They broke my guy, my singular guy, off with $137 million. I'm not sure if Mr. Ortiz has received his money. I hope Mr. Ortiz has received his money. Yes, come with them flame emojis. Kids, he secured the fucking bag. My guy ran the elevator for a year and got called monkeys several times, got told to go back to Africa. I'm sure it was some other worse treatment than that, but it don't matter. Slim, if that's enough for $137 million, some of my former employees need to run me my bucks, y'all. Y'all need to run me my motherfucking money. My guy secured the bag. Oh my gosh, a king. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, Mr. Diaz. We cheer for Mr. Diaz some more. Woo! A king, a whole king. Might be a single king, ladies out there in the Bay Area. Y'all might need to find him. See what he up to. See if he need some dinner. see if he, I don't know what he need, but he don't need much. Said he got $137 million. But anyway, I wanted to use as an example because obviously Tesla has a history of racial discrimination, treating specifically black workers like shit, being unapologetic about it, trying to stifle investigations, as Mr. Ortiz said, trying to bury evidence, bury their heads in the sand, slough it off as though it was no big deal. Oh, they were just playing. Oh, really? Let me assure you, black people do not take it as a joke when white people they are not friends with make statements to them like go back to Africa or hang a noose in proximity to their workspace. No. See, them is not jokes that we think is funny. Them's not jokes that we think is funny. But here's something I do think is funny, guys. So, as Elon apparently is melting down on Twitter, I don't think he tweeted anything today. Like I said, I don't follow this nigga. Like, I don't like him. Everything about Elon Musk is offensive to me. I'm repelled by it. I am actually disgusted by it. I find him to be a very disgustable, deplorable human being. I'm not a fan. I don't think he's smart. I don't think he's cute. I don't think anything nice about him. Okay. So as he melts down, as the likelihood, it would seem, at least from a layperson's perspective, the likelihood that he is actually going to be able to purchase Twitter, that seems to be slipping away, because he has questions about Twitter's valuation. He wants to know whether or not a significant number of Twitter accounts are actually bots. And it's like, dog, this is all shit you should have thought about before you started to run your motherfucking mouth. Before you started to run your mouth and say that you was going to buy the company for $44 billion. Now he trying to get the discount. Now he's saying that there's a bunch of bots, so he need to get a discount. In the meantime, Tesla stock has plummeted quite a bit. And this is from CNBC as of a couple of days ago. And I know shit changes. And let me ask my phone what Tesla stock is trading at. And by the way, Tesla stock is still trading at far more than most of us could afford to purchase. But apparently it's far less than what it used to trade at, right? But the white folks who run this big scheme known as Wall Street are seemingly uniting to say that Elon shit is maybe not a good investment. Maybe not some shit you need to invest in if you got $660 some to buy a single share of Tesla stock. But yes, I love to see the elites turn on each other. Let's see more of that, please. It's not enough, and I know this is just superficial. But anyway, I digress. Let's take a look at that CNBC clip, Dwayne. Yes, because apparently Tesla is not the great buy that it used to be. Let's take a look.
You mentioned Tesla, Dan. You're nibbling in the triple Qs. Would you be buying Tesla at these levels?
Nope. I mean, listen, Elon
There's
Musk
a lot
is
of Twitter noise. We don't know what's going on with the deal. I guess the concern also now is China and Wedbush, Morgan Stanley, both raising the flag on margins and China supplies.
Yeah, no, I would not be buying it. I actually hate the fact that it's a top 6 name in the QQQ. I think it's going to actually drop out of that top 6 in the not so distant future. I think this stock has a lot of room to run. And I got to tell you, if a large part of the premium in this stock is because of the aura of Elon Musk, well, he's unraveling before our eyes on Twitter, the company that he wants to personally buy, but he can't afford to buy it because Tesla stock keeps going lower. Okay, so I just think this is a big mess. And I'll just say the last thing, I've been in the markets for 25 years, Sarah. Every single mania and every cult stock leader, they've all imploded. This is the last one. I think it's starting to happen right here. So I would not be a buyer at this thing at 669 or 666 or whatever he thinks is funny about this, the price of the stock.
Y'all think Elon is laughing? Egomaniacs, when they have their I don't know, their manhood, their prowess, I suppose, challenged. They don't seem to like that very much. Yep, the whites are turning. They say, don't buy Tesla. Tesla's not a good buy anymore. Why? Because Elon is fucking it up. Elon is driving, literally, pun intended. Is David Silberg in here? We're big pun. Elon is driving Tesla into the ground. Now, again, as a poor person, you think I got $600 to be dropping a share on Tesla? Fuck no. But if the rich people are saying that Tesla ain't what it used to be, then I'm going to root for that. I'm going to cheer for that. I am going to ask Lord Jesus to apply some energy to that, to watching the mighty fall, right? What is that proverb in the Bible? Oh, I'm about to misquote the Bible so bad right now. It is easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than it is for a wealthy man to get into heaven. Now, we know these people don't believe in no heaven, and I know a lot of y'all don't believe in heaven, but I have to believe in some sort of scale adjustments in the afterworld. I do. I hope evil people roast. I hope they pay for the shit that they do. And I think Elon Musk qualifies as an evil person. I really do. Anytime that you intentionally try to make lives harder for those who have demonstrably less than you, there is no other word for that. You can call it selfish, you can call it self-centered, you can call it a lot of things. But at the end of the day, if you lack true human empathy to even do the bare minimum, or to not try to make people's lives intentionally more difficult just because you can. Like, if you can't just do the bare minimum as a human, you are evil. You are evil. You could be a passive evil. You don't have to be, I guess, an active evil. You don't have to be that evil little asshole who walked into the elementary school today. You could. Evil comes in many forms. Evil comes in lots of forms. And I am certain that evil absolutely comes in the form of a CEO and definitely a billionaire. Dwayne, if you could pop up B5 for me, please. This is a tweet. A tweet. And this was posted relatively recently. And the picture is really the main part of this that I want you guys to see. Because Tesla, as a product, as a record label, is also not faring that well. Teslas keep catching on fire. Did you know? Did you know that Tesla, how much Teslas cost? 100K? More? Roundabouts, you got to have around 100,000 to buy a Tesla. Can you imagine your fucking $100,000 car catching on fire? Not only catching on fire, but locking you in while the shit is smoking all around you. This tweet was posted by a passerby, and it says, watched a Tesla catch on fire this morning. As soon as it started smoking, the electrical system locked, trapping the guy inside. Luckily, construction workers broke the window so he could escape. Neat feature. Do you see that Tesla looking like the flames of hell? and the poor owner, well, maybe not poor, the unfortunate owner would have been trapped in there to perish in their $100,000 luxury vehicle that you can't even fucking manually unlock the goddamn door if the bitch caught on fire. Make it make sense, everybody. Make it make sense. Really quick, let me add this little caveat to that piece of a story. Because Tesla, like a lot of car companies, are being investigated by the National Highway Safety and Transportation Niggas Administration. I don't know. NHTSA, National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration. Now, apparently what the NHTSA is doing, they're conducting an in-depth crash investigation because actually the feds are looking into a couple of these fatal Tesla crashes. One that happened somewhat recently out in Newport Beach, California, which, by the way, has been kind of misreported on Twitter. I'm going to get back to that in a moment, but hold on, I just got to tell y'all this. The National Highway TSA, their in-depth crash investigation team, has 42 open investigations related to driver-assisted technology, 35 out of the 42 open cases, 35 of which involve Tesla. And this crash that happened in Newport Beach, California, where 3 people in a Tesla were killed. So let me say this. This happened on the Pacific Coast Highway. It happened after midnight. And what happened is that the occupants of the Tesla, there were 3 occupants, they crashed into a construction zone. It's been misreported on Twitter that this Tesla crash killed construction workers, and that's not accurate. What happened was it did strike a construction zone where workers were. None of the workers were fatally injured. Some did have some scrapes and bruises, but none of the workers were injured. All 3 of the occupants of the Tesla died. All 3 of them died. 3 white folks, by the way, driving along the Pacific Coast Highway. And I saw an anecdotal tweet of which I cannot verify, but I'm going to mention it. And with that caveat, a wife of one of the construction workers who were on the scene that night says that, according to their partner, it did not appear as though the Tesla at that moment was utilizing the driver-assisted technology because it was speeding. Again, I can't independently verify that. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So yeah, let's correct some of that misreporting that's going on out there as well. No construction workers died on the scene of the Newport Beach crash, but the 3 occupants of the Tesla did, and now the feds are investigating. And the last thing that I wanted to put up here, another reason, the main reason actually why, the main reason, as much as I detest Elon Musk and his ilk, detest him personally, detest a lot of shit about him, because again, Tesla ain't up to snuff. There was a story out about the charging stations, how they're diesel fuel powered, and how if you're fueling your electric car charging station with diesel gas, and then how are you making a positive impact on the environment? There's just a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of billionaire 3-card Monty going on. It's truly embarrassing. Shout out to Kalechi Okafor. Embarrassed. Are you not embarrassed? Yes. Check this out. Pop up B6 at your convenience, Dwayne. So Musk tweeted this years ago, okay? Not that long ago, actually, just 2020. And if you guys remember, I'm sure you do, when Evo Morales in Bolivia, there was a coup, an attempted coup of Evo. And this is what Elon had to say. Actually, let me go to my Zoom so I can read it. But in response to a tweet to him regarding what he said, all right, so Armani, the top tweet, says, you know what is in the best interest of people? In the U.S. government organizing a coup against Evo Morales in Bolivia, and you could obtain all the lithium there, which we know, hopefully most of us know, that Bolivia is a, pardon the pun, gold mine of natural resources, of minerals. Lithium is what these Tesla motors require, not just Tesla, Apple, everything that we use now uses lithium. And y'all know these billionaires want that shit, and they want it on the cheap. Actually, they want it for free. And this is what Elon, in response to that tweet, says: we will coup whoever we want. Deal with it. And he eventually deleted that tweet. I actually think I remember seeing that randomly when it was happening in real time back in 2020 on Twitter. And I remember thinking, oh, he just said that out loud. Oh, he just came out and said that. Oh, you don't know, baby, this is a cabal of 1%ers. We don't worry about petty shit like elections. Nigga, we will coup whomever we want. Deal with it. He eventually deleted that tweet, and claimed that he was playing. Listen, everybody who saw that shit, nobody thought Elon was playing. Everybody believed that Elon said that shit with his chest. He said what he said, and he meant it. And guess what? He's got the billions of dollars to make such a thing happen. And he's got allies. So this is what makes someone like Elon Musk so dangerous. Even though he's clearly a clown, even though he's clearly a fucking buffoon, what makes him so dangerous, is that he will ally his capital along with the worst forces in our society and in our government and in the world. He will subject his workers. He will exploit his workers, work them to the bone, work them to the point of exhaustion, work them to the point of fear and anxiety, subject them to substandard wages that are below industry standards, subject them to misogynist and racist treatment. I know there's a lot of shit I'm forgetting. I didn't even mention the sexual misconduct allegations that he says are in connection to his announcement that he's going to vote Republican. Oh, you guys can expect a slew of political attacks to come out against me now that I'm saying I'm voting Republican. Meanwhile, these sexual misconduct allegations are years old, and he paid money. I believe that the sum that I saw reported was $250 to settle a sexual harassment allegation. So this is not a trumped up thing. This is not a new thing. This is part of Elon's very documented, troubling, problematic, bullying, abuser behavior. Because if you're a shit boss, that qualifies you as an abuser as well. Okay? If you treat your workers and foster the kind of work environment where people are fearful, don't want to speak up, or understand that they're not going to be protected if they do speak up, that makes you an abuser. You don't have to hit nobody. That's emotional abuse. That's mental abuse. That's economic abuse, right? That's financial abuse. He is an abusive, exploitative piece of shit. SpaceX, right? Nigga, you ain't invent that. You did not invent that. You did not invent Tesla. And I assure you, Nikola Tesla was a real one out here. Nikola Tesla would be horrified to see a fucking pussyclat like Elon Musk being associated with his name. Nigga, this nigga named my company after me? What? So I want us to mock Elon when the Twitter deal eventually falls through, and just before he deletes his account, right? Because you know he's gonna temporarily deactivate his Twitter account because he's not gonna be able to take the noise. I don't think so, because again, all these people are extremely thin-skinned. I'm sure Elon Musk. Have we seen any trolls? Latif and Courtney, have we had any Elon bros show up yet? They might show up in the comments a little later. Yeah, these people are extremely thin-skinned and cannot take even the teensiest bit of critique against them or their behavior or the way that they move out here in the world. But trust and believe, as much as a fucking clown he is, he's dangerous. And we need to keep an eye on him. We need to watch him. We need to stand with Twitter workers who do not want Elon to assume controls of the company, because there's no telling, y'all. Twitter, truthfully, out of the social media platforms, and this is just my opinion, I'd be curious to know what y'all's opinion are, but I really feel as though Twitter, out of all social media, out of Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever, I feel as though Twitter is where there's the most black organization. I'm not saying that Black Twitter operates exclusively that way, but I have seen over the years several times, where Black Twitter's kind of got some shit done behind causing tweet storms, creating hashtags, putting pressure on institutions or particular brands to make changes. I don't know how much of this has been able to I don't know how much of that we can translate actually to political victories. And I don't mean simply electoral victories, but, policy victories of different kinds. But if you kneecap Black Twitter, I don't like that. I don't like where that's going. I don't like the message that sends. The celebrity class and the corporate class, I think, have a fear of Black Twitter. And I think that there is, even if it's not overt and explicitly said, there is a desire to want to neutralize the loudness of Black Twitter, the way that Black Twitter can very quickly amplify an issue or a person or anything like that requires attention from the community. Black Twitter can amplify that shit and make that shit go. And for all you Facebook users, I'm very sorry to tell y'all that y'all seeing shit like 2 and 3 days late because Twitter done already talked about it, dissected it. About 50 niggas done ran threads on the shit. Yeah, by the time the shit gets to Facebook, it's already been figured out. So there's that. But Twitter gets shit done. Black Twitter specifically, and to the varying degrees of that, we can certainly argue and debate that for certain. Well, gang, I'm gonna put a pin in this because Dwayne is guesting for us, and I don't like to hold people hostage. So I'm going to call it a night. I had another story that I wanted to talk about, and I am going to talk about it Friday. I'm not going to forget it. No. It's cool. Dwayne, it's cool. You have done us a big solid. Well, can you just pop your mic up real quick? Say what's up to the people. Say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Do y'all remember Dwayne?
Nah, go ahead. Do the story.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. See, Dwayne's cool. Dwayne, never mind. You gotta watch me, shorty, because that was gonna go. Right. You was correct to be scared to see where that was gonna go. Hold on, I was trying to find. Okay. All right, Dwayne said that I can get loose on this story, so I'm going to try to be succinct here, and I appreciate you guys sticking around. Thank you so much to our awesome mods, Courtney the Stallion, Latif, a.k.a. Khaleesi's Dragon. Thank you guys so much for doing your thing. What's going on my folks? I see Holly in here. Manta is in here. Who else? Infinite Content is in here. Donnie is in here. Look at Dwayne. People showing Dwayne love. Yes, shout out to Big Teal. Shout out to Nawadi, aka Obi. Vespa X is in here. Learn life. Yes. I love to see y'all. Okay, let me get in on this story. And Quaker anarchist / socialist and math activist. This is for y'all. Because I saw this story and I was a little perplexed. And how I even came to find the story was again through a Twitter thread, which was very revealing. So it's gonna be C1 there, brother Dwayne. Boston. Y'all may have heard this. Boston's a little racist. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. Did y'all know? Who knew Boston was racist? Let me say this real quick, related but unrelated. Along the I-95 corridor, I feel as though there is, especially in that Northeast corridor, there's a little bit of competition as who has the most racist northern city on the East Coast. And Boston is in there. Philly is definitely in there. DC, a case can be made. NYC, we already know what the fuck is up. What's the most racist Northeast city? I'd be curious to ask what y'all say. Baltimoreans would say Baltimore. Yes. You would say Boston, Dwayne?
Yes. 100%.
but is it close?
Is it? There's probably some cities up there in Vermont too, somewhere. But
he said Vermont. Yeah. I'm talking about big cities where black people are. I mean, I guess black people are in Burlington, Vermont. I'm not really sure.
No,
I know not.
I didn't have fun in Burlington when I was there.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, well, Dwayne says Burlington. Vermont, call your senator and ask him what the fuck is going on. Call Bernie and ask him why his state is still up here racist than a motherfucker. Check this out, y'all. So Boston Latin School apologizes for student-written descriptions of 2 neighborhoods. And I'm sure you're like, what? The school is apologizing for, I'm sorry, for what? Let me read this because again, it was a little hard to find actual coverage of this story for reasons I'm sure we can explore. But hold on, let me read this. An attempt to teach 8th graders at Boston Latin School how to deal with stereotypes ended today with school officials apologizing to students, parents, and school staffers from two heavily white neighborhoods. So you heard it, an attempt to teach 8th graders at Boston Latin how to deal with stereotypes ended today with the school and school officials apologizing to students, parents, and school staffers from two heavily white neighborhoods. As part of a civics class for 13 and 14-year-olds in the 8th grade, students were assigned to write about stereotypes about their neighborhoods, with the goal of then discussing and dealing with those biases. Many of the descriptions were taped around the school library, where somebody photographed one about West Roxbury and posted a copy in one of West Roxbury's Facebook groups, where other people love to commiserate about how the rest of the city hates them, causing an immediate uproar that included one person demanding that the student be punished, that the 13 or 14-year-old 8th grader be punished for writing the following. It's a very lengthy poem, by the way, but let me surmise it for you. So this is what the poem said. To understand West Roxbury, you would have to be white and rich. Come through, student. Listen, I'm fucking with this shit already. Come through, 8th grader. The 8th kids know what the fuck is up. To understand West Roxbury, you would have to be white and rich. The Blue Lives Matter flags on almost every damn house. Those local stores on Center Street that are mad expensive for no reason. The Trump supporters, woo, the anti-maskers, the old white people, the slightly racist white people, the Trump supporters, the anti-maskers. To understand West Roxbury, you really got to be there. The kids that play lacrosse, baseball, hockey, or all of the above. The CVS that laid off my sister. The Arenberger, is that right? The Arenberger, which I attended for 1.5 years. The white girls that only wear those white Air Forces. The Irish parents, the Irish people, the people who get Starbucks daily. The one-star market, I like time and time. Is that what I said? Yes, the one-star market, I like time and time. The YMCA, where Bryce Johnson gets those big gains. The 35 bus, which I take almost every day. I'm actually going to post this in the chat. That's a lie. I'm gonna post this in the chat, and that's just a portion of the poem. But what I want you guys to understand is that white fragility and the way that racism works is so fucking insidious and so harmful and damaging to children. This was an exercise at a middle school, Boston Latin School, boys Latin School in Boston. An exercise for 8th graders to express how they felt about stereotypes, specifically about racial stereotypes, and to express what it's like to feel like an outsider, even sometimes in the city in which you reside or the neighborhood in which you reside, and the ways in which people who do not look like you can make you feel less than, or make you feel like shit, or even worse, make you feel scared and intimidated. I would not be comfortable living in a neighborhood where there was a bunch of Blue Lives Matter signs and obvious Trump supporters, especially if I were a black child. I would feel afraid. I wouldn't feel comfortable. And in this exercise in which the children were encouraged to write about these experiences, at the very base level of self-expression, they did that. The school took their poems, posted them in the school, perfectly normal thing to do. There's lots of art projects, I'm sure, hanging around your kids' schools. And for some white asshole to come in there, read the shit, get offended by it, then take a picture of it, post it in a public forum, and then for there to be such an uproar and a kerfuffle amongst the whites of West Roxbury that the fucking school had to come out and apologize. Yo, white fragility. I don't give a fuck where it lives. That shit could live in Boston. That shit could live in Montana. That shit could live in Texas. That shit is violent, because at the end of the day, that is violence against that child. That is reinforcing to that child that the way that they view the world and the way that they experience being black in a very white society or white area, white neighborhood, white school, black kids don't have the freedom to express that without consequence. This is why I am so convinced at some point YouTube is going to yank this shit, because black people can't be this honest. You're not allowed. You are not allowed to be honest about the ways in which oppression affects you, about the way in which oppression makes you feel, the way it makes you feel about yourself, the way it makes you feel about the oppressors. These are things that you are, as a black person, again, for us to be able to quote unquote speak freely is a relatively recent thing. They used to hang niggas for talking the shit that I talk, baby. Make no mistake about it. Make no fucking mistake about it. And that was in part somewhat of a digital lynching of this child. Okay? I don't know to what extent this child's identity was kept anonymous from this West Roxbury Facebook group. Something tells me that probably was not kept anonymous because white people don't take into considerations whether or not black children are in danger or will maybe feel uncomfortable by people. No, that's shit that doesn't even factor into racist white people's thinking. No, this child is wrong. They called us out. They said X, Y, and Z about white folks and the way that being black in their white neighborhood makes them feel. They are not entitled to these feelings. Or if they feel them, they have to shut the fuck up about them. They're not allowed to express it because it hurts our feelings. It hurts white people's feelings. Hurts the feelings. This is the whole reason why people like the governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, and Ron DeSantis in Florida, they are trying to make sure that all this so-called critical race theory, all this accurate teaching of American history doesn't reach their kids because it makes them feel uncomfortable. But fuck what black kids think. Fuck how black children feel. Fuck how brown kids feel. Fuck how indigenous kids feel. They just got to deal with that shit. They got to deal with the continuing burden of white supremacy, right? That's non-white children's burden to bear. But you can't put shit on white kids. You can't even put shit on white adults. White adults don't even have it within themselves. Racist white adults. We know what the John Brown Brigade is, okay? I ain't even guys. I just wanted to make that clear because I know I go in on white people sometimes, and I know y'all be like, Kim, not all whites. And I love y'all so much for never saying to me not all whites, but yes, white adults, racist white adults cannot even see past their own perceived oppression, right? To their own perceived injustices to their existence. While they have everything, their daughters get to wear them dirty white Air Force Ones and never clean them, and they just get bought a new pair, right? I'm sure the kids see this and they have questions. But anyway, that's a small note. But I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. Because again, that to me, while you may think it's a relatively innocuous story, I don't. That I see that as a violent attack on that child. That child's thoughts, words, feelings were told that it is too dangerous, that it decenters white people, and that's not appropriate, and that the school backed this white citizens council of West Roxbury motherfuckers and had the audacity to apologize. Shame on you, Boys Latin School of Boston. Shame on you for not standing with your students, for not supporting your students, for not defending your students. And I can only imagine what it must feel like to be a black student at Boys Latin in Boston. It must feel like a very scary fucking place where you must know as a black child that white people can come attack you physically, with words, digitally, in any way that they so choose, and the school will apologize for the offensiveness of your blackness. That's the show, kids. I'ma be out, but I'll be back on Black Power Media tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for the Remix Morning Show. Please come hang out with us. Hey, Shay. Thank you so much for your super chat, Shay. That's very cool. And if anybody else ran us some super chat, I will thank you on Friday, because y'all know sometimes I miss the super chats in the moment. But I'm deeply appreciative for all the support that you give us. Thank you so much. Thank you to my mods, Maud and So Strong, Courtney, and Latif. Shout out to Chuck Diesel as well. Vesper, I see you in here. Donnie is in here. Holly Horn, everybody. Franny Francais, Dave Gamandi, come through. Yes. Thank you, Dave. Salute to Dwayne Gladden, our fill-in the clutch when Brother Tunde had to go work his real jobby job. Dwayne said he is Fire Fam since day one, and I appreciate you, Dwayne, for stepping up and helping us out tonight for our live broadcast. We certainly appreciate that. Who else just ran us some bucks? King Camarishiro, my G, come through. Peace, baby. I appreciate you so much. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Black Power Media, we will be back here for Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Friday, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Please set your reminders and your notifications. We love you guys. Thank you, Amani. Thank you, baby. Thank you, Anna. You guys are the greatest. On behalf of Tunde and Molly, we appreciate it. Real quick, COVID is still out here jumping on people. And so is the monkeypox. So you niggas better act fucking accordingly out here. Don't believe the hype. We are in the midst of a nationwide COVID surge. Fuck what you heard. All the things. Mask inside, wash your hands. Niggas is giving out monkeypox. Do you understand? Monkeypox. Stop accepting hugs from strangers. Stop dapping motherfuckers up that you don't know where the fuck they been. This is real out here, y'all. We still in a pandemic. Make no mistake about it. COVID is out here jumping on people. I do not want it to jump on you. On behalf of Tunde, Molly, and Dwayne, we love you guys. We will see y'all back here Friday. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.